While the L.A. City Council continues to figure out how to deal with pot dispensaries, an Oakland man has it figured out. Make marijuana legal. He's ready to put it on the ballot now. Richard Lee says he's got more than 434,000 required signatures needed to make the November 2010 ballot. The proposal would legalize possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana for California adults 21 and older. Residents could cultivate marijuana gardens up to 25 square feet. Local governments would determine whether to permit marijuana sales within their boundaries. If it makes the ballot, will the people vote to legalize pot? And do you think this is a good idea, Charlotte?
I think it's a very good idea. And I believe very much in taxing it heavily so that we can offset some of the deficits. And apparently 56% of the people in this state agree with me, and 66% of the people in Los Angeles do. Analysts say that our deficits are going to reach in this state $21 billion in a year and a half, and we can get $1 billion every year off of taxing pot. I mean,
Charlotte,
that's one thing.
Charlotte,
what?
Now, where did you get the 66%? Did you conduct your own poll?
No, I read that. I read that in an article that it was a high percent. I mean, this is what the pre-polling has shown. Whether it comes to fruition, I have no idea. My guess is it'll be a close race. But my concern is doing it in 2010 instead of 2012, because it's better if they were to do it on the same year as a presidential election, because more young people vote. It's like 10% more young people, and they're more likely to support this particular cause. So that's my concern. They've spent $1.1 million just in getting signatures. They could spend as much as $20 million for a campaign. So that's a lot of money that could go down the drain if it doesn't pass.
Matt, what do you think?
I'm opposed to it, and I absolutely think if it makes the ballot, it's going to lose. It's one thing to take polls now and ask people what they think, but when you get in the heat of a campaign and law enforcement groups, law enforcement unions start spending money on the ballot, poking holes in proponents' arguments, and raising the specter of the very real dangers of legalizing marijuana and the societal effects of that, I think you see voters changing their minds, and they're going to vote their doubts, and it'll go down in flames.
But
and
it's also flexible. It's flexible. It allows cities and counties to put something different in place.
When you get into a campaign situation, when you get into the nuance, into the forest like that, that is a recipe for losing a campaign, because it's straightforward, simple messages propounded over and over again that win. And I think, again, this is one of those initiatives that polls high initially. But once
we also have taxpayers. Taxpayers are hurting right now.
Charlotte.
Yes.
10 seconds, you get the last word. 10 seconds. Go.
Taxpayers are hurting right now. They want to see these deficits paid down. So my thought is this is a good way to do it. And they're going to be more receptive now because of the financial situation we're in.
Okay. Have you noticed that when you're watching TV, when a commercial comes on all of a sudden, the sound gets louder? Apparently that issue is so important, it needs to be addressed by Congress. Can you hear me now? Democratic Representative Anna Eshoo from Northern California has introduced legislation to prevent loud TV ads. Also in the bill, restricting junk food advertising in response to childhood obesity, and to prohibit commercials for products like Viagra from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Texas Republican Joe Barton wonders if Congress has better things to do than worry about the noise level of commercials. Should the government get involved here, Matt?
On the noise level thing, this is just silly. It's just stupid to see Congress with the problems it has. Well, it's spending us into a deficit graveyard, to think it has a time to regulate the volume of commercials. It's a very simple solution. It's called your remote control. You turn it off. You turn it down. Or if you're like me and you DVR a lot of shows, you just fast forward through the commercis.
It's bite your tongue, Matt, for commercial television. Don't say that. DVR through the commercials.
You got me there. But the point being, this is nanny state politics run amok. If Anna Eshoo has nothing better to do than to put forward a bill to regulate the sound of commercials, I mean, I think the federal government has bigger fish to fry, like maybe Al-Qaeda and foreign policy issues and the deficit and how to get our taxes down, get this economy working again.
Charlotte?
I agree that this is ridiculous. It shows us that the stupidity index is on the rise. We have terror alerts, and now this is like a level 4 stupidity alert. So I think that the reason that 90 Congress people have all jumped on board to be co-sponsors, and I think it's because they want to pass something. They want to go back to their constituents and say, I did something, volume control, I passed something. So I think it's absurd. I think that it shows that the book, The Death of Common Sense, is correct in that we're creating all these laws that are drowning us. I think Congress needs to start getting rid of some of the absurd laws that are on the books. And it also shows that there could start to be a movement throughout this country for a part-time Congress. We have in California, we have this movement for a part-time legislature in Sacramento. This could put people in the same direction for Congress, thinking, my God, they have nothing better to do with their time.
All right. Cheryl and Matt, well done tonight. Really appreciate your time. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I offer you a drink of water? Well, not if you're in Riverside. We'll have that in 90 seconds.
If you're so smart, prove it. Contact NBC Filter on Twitter or Facebook, or send an email to thefilter@nbcuni.com. We care what you think, but if we don't like it, we'll filter you.